Thank you all so much for coming. I'm very excited about today's programming, and I'm so grateful that you all came out for this important event despite the much needed rain. I am deeply honored to be here. My name is Jeffrey Tumlin, and I'm the Executive Director of the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency. And I'm excited that we have a ribbon cutting for a really exciting project. But before we begin, it's also important to acknowledge where we've come from. The Geary Corridor was Muni's first transit line. The B. Geary electric streetcar ran down here in 1912 and has long been one of the highest ridership surface transit lines in North America. This neighborhood has also long been one of the most diverse and interesting neighborhoods anywhere in the world, and home to very strong populations of Japanese and African Americans. This is also a place where Japanese Americans were expelled from, were sent forcibly to internment camps during World War II, despite their patriotism. This is also a neighborhood where in the post-war era, the redevelopment agency demolished dozens of blocks, displacing thousands of residents and businesses in the name of urban renewal. Geary Street used to be one lane in each direction, lined with businesses owned by Japanese and African Americans, and all of that was destroyed to make way for the 8-lane Geary Expressway. And so though we're so proud of this project, we also must acknowledge the project area's history and to acknowledge that this is a very small token of appreciation for what these neighborhoods have suffered and a start of healing. The Geary Expressway was intentionally designed to exclude, to separate these neighborhoods from one another. And so this project, in working with community and understanding the historic suffering, this project is designed in its small way to help with the healing and to help restore the connectivity between Japantown and the Fillmore. We are proud of the work that all of our teams have done, listening to community members to understand their stories, and also to acknowledge the past and to also begin the healing. We've also learned a lot from past projects and the delivery of this project. Unlike certain other projects that have continued to drag on for year after year, we built this project very differently. We broke the work up into many different contract segments, allowing for more and more diverse contractors to be able to do the work. We collaborated with half a dozen city agencies skillfully in order to get all kinds of work done while we were here, including utility replacement and paving and pedestrian safety projects, and of course, the transit priority treatment. We also did much of the work in what we call quick build style, allowing us to move more quickly and efficiently, minimizing negative impacts on the community and its businesses. It's also meant that although this project has moved incredibly quickly, we are already delivering a 20% improvement in speed and reliability to the 38 Geary bus line. And I'm so proud of my team for just fine-tuning all the little details, the bus bulb outs that allow for safer passenger loading and unloading and speedier departure, the changes to the traffic signals to allow the buses to be less delayed at red lights, but particularly to these pedestrian crosswalks right out here, which for the first time in 5 decades, allow community members to walk across the street between Japantown and the Fillmore and St. Francis Square. Simple changes, but changes that mean so much to community. So I am so thankful as well to the way my teams worked together with each other. I really want to thank Liz Bryson, who led this project, Dan Mikowski, yes, who did the engineering and implementation, Amy Fowler, who led the extensive community outreach, and to all of our teams who work together, including all of our shops and our transit operations team, to get all of the details right and to build it. I'm also really grateful to all of our other city departments, Michael Carlin from the SFPUC, Carla Short from Public Works who is here, and all of their construction management and design teams who work together. I'm grateful to the SFCTA, Tilly Chang is here, who helped us fund and get this project through the environmental review. I'm grateful as well to our contractors who worked together seamlessly with each other and with the project teams to deliver all of this work on time and on budget. JMB Construction, Mitchell Engineering, Esquivel Grading and Paving, and Silicon Valley Demolition. But mostly, I am so glad to all of the community members from all of the neighborhoods surrounding us right here who told us your stories, who told us your needs, who helped us figure out how to deliver this project for maximum benefit, minimum disruption. And so a special thank you to the Japantown Community Benefit District, the Japantown Task Force, the Fillmore Merchants and Neighborhood Collaborative, the Fillmore Merchants Association, St. Francis Square Cooperative, Rosa Parks Elementary School, the Tenderloin Community Benefit District, the Union Square Alliance, the Geary Community Advisory Community, and so many others. There are way too many people that I need to thank. So thank you to all of you, and thank you for showing up here today. And with that, I would like to introduce our Mayor, London Breed. Mayor London Breed, please come up.
Hey, Rosa Parks Elementary School, we see you. Right across the street, in fact, that was my school. And when I think about this project and what it's actually going to do to bring the Western Addition and the Japantown community together in a different kind of way, it really fills my heart with so much joy. Because I can tell you, as someone who grew up here, as someone who, and I have some witnesses here because I know Jada, Pia, Utopia, you remember what it was like when we would come from this area of Buchanan. We would stop at every park, we'd hop the fence at what was called Raphael, which is now Rosa Parks, and hang out in the playgrounds there, and then we'd cross this very dangerous street. This is not anything I would advise anybody to do or any kid to do, but this is why this was so important to me. This crossing right here was so important to me because I wanted people to be safe. I wanted to make sure kids who are at the YMCA, Rosa Parks, who are in the squares, who are a part of this community and who want to be a part of J-Town and all the great activities and things to do here, that they felt safe. And so the field trips, I'm sure they probably just used the crossing here today to come over. So we're glad to have them, and we're glad to see Gary improve for pedestrian safety, to meet our Vision Zero goals, to keep people safe, and to ensure that our transit system is working more efficiently. I see my folks from J-Town, the folks who have been involved for so many years, including Sandy Mori, Ben Nakajo, and George Hamasaki. Thank you so much. These are extraordinary leaders in J-Town. And whenever there's a problem that they want fixed, you know, usually I get the phone call from Sandy. So when this bridge was being threatened through this project of being torn down on Webster and Gary, it was the community that rallied to save this bridge because of his significance to us and what it meant for safety and the community. And so many of the kids and families from Rosa Parks Elementary School fought to keep that bridge there. And so I'm so glad that the city listened to the community and that bridge is still there, along with making the crossways a lot more safe. Because as Jeff Tumlin talked about, you know, before Gary Boulevard, this was a community of mostly African Americans and Japanese Americans who lived together in harmony. I used to wonder why when I hung out at Japantown Bowl, no matter how badly we might have behaved, they never told us we had to leave. And it had a lot to do with the fact that we were a community. We were responsible for one another. We looked out and took care of one another, and we built bridges and had incredible relationships. And when this became, in essence, a freeway, there was a real divide. And so what we are trying to do in correcting the mistakes of the past is build those bridges and make them stronger, both with the people but also with the infrastructure. And this project, along with so many of the other improvements that are happening around Geary Boulevard to improve the ability for people to move around the city safely and also using public transportation and making it more efficient so that people use public transportation is critical to really also addressing climate change. Because 50% of the emissions, the greenhouse gas emissions that go into the air and are impacting our environment comes from private vehicles. And so getting more people to use public transit is going to help us reach our goals here in San Francisco to continue to be an environmental leader. So making Muni more efficient, making our streets more safe, building bridges. This project did it all, and it did it all while working with so many people in the Tenderloin and the Richmond, the avenues out there in that area, in the Western Addition, Fillmore, connecting the city like never before. And so I want to thank all of you, all the contractors, architects, the people, the community, the kids, everyone that had a role to play in making this project. I see you having a role to play in making this a great project for San Franciscans and starting to move our city forward. We have so many challenges and so much work to do. It is always nice to be somewhere where something incredible happened for the people of San Francisco that puts a smile on your face. So thank you all so much for being here. Congratulations on this wonderful project.
Thank you, Mayor Breed, for your strong support. I'd also now like to introduce our state senator, Scott Wiener, who is also providing very strong support for us at the state level. Senator Wiener, please.
Thank you, Jeff. So, first of all, I just want to congratulate the Japantown, Fillmore, Tenderloin communities for this amazing step forward. And it's really just the beginning. And these are communities that need more transit, that need better transit, and this is a great step forward. As San Francisco continues to wake up from our COVID cocoon, we need to make sure that people can get around. There's been a lot of people who want to predict the death of cities, that people aren't going to want to live in cities anymore, and that's false. People want to be in cities. People want to be in San Francisco, and we need to make sure that the city is able to accept the people who want to live here because this is the best city in the world and people do want to live here. And part of that means great world-class public transportation. And 38 Geary is just one example of what we need to do. We need faster bus service. We need bus rapid transit. And when I was on the Board of Supervisors and on our Transportation Authority, we went down to Mexico City to look at their bus rapid transit systems, which they deliver in 3 years from concept to cutting the ribbon. And we need to be continually moving in that direction. More bus rapid transit, faster delivery. Sometimes we struggle with that. This was fast, but we need to make all of our transit projects happen quickly. We need to deliver these projects quickly for our community. And I know MTA and our Transportation Authority are working hard on that. At the state level, we actually were able to pass a law last year to dramatically speed up delivery of bus rapid transit projects, and we're looking to expand that law next year. So I see good things in the future for our city and for our transit system. But today, let's celebrate this huge win for the community and for transit riders and for pedestrians and for everyone else who needs to get around this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wiener. Next up, we have Tilly Chang, who's the Executive Director of the San Francisco County Transportation Authority, our sister agency and a critical partner in delivering this project.
Thank you, Director Tumlin, and congratulations to you. for leading this fantastic project in partnership with the other city agencies. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tilly Chang, County Transportation Authority Director, and on behalf of our board, including Chair Rafael Mendelman, I just want to say congratulations to the whole community, to all the partner agencies, to the folks who labored to build this fantastic project, and to the next generation of kids who's going to be able to really benefit from all the safety and reliability improvements of the Geary Bus Rapid Project. As we all know, Geary is really a microcosm of our city. 56,000 daily riders take it both locally and regionally to school, to work, to medical appointments, shopping, and other critical activities, particularly now during the pandemic. It's such an important and critical service. Now, this corridor does pass through 5 different districts from the bay to the beach, reflecting all the different diversity of our city. And that's what you see on the bus. It's really true, the apt saying that where transit goes, community grows. So I really, really want to take this opportunity to congratulate the SFMTA, the SF Public Works, and PUC, because these projects are not easy. This one really had full features. We had bus lanes, traffic signal upgrades, as you all know, the new resurfacing, the crosswalks, and the sidewalk extensions and bulbs. These are all features that make buses more reliable and the street safer for people walking and traveling. The Transportation Authority was very proud to have provided over $13 million in half-cent sales tax funds, as well as Prop AA vehicle registration fee funds. So thank you to the voters who have approved these sources, and we hope to come back to you to do more in the coming years. Thank you, of course, to Japantown, Fillmore, the Tenderloin Western Addition, and all the community members who remained involved through the planning stages where we were helpful and partnered with the SFMTA, and of course through design and construction. This project, of course, will not only improve safety and reliability, but help support economic revitalization and jobs, maintaining and creating jobs for our city. So I want to thank you, Mayor Breed, for your longtime leadership, and Supervisor or Senator Wiener, when you were a supervisor, you saw this project come before us at the TA. And thank you to the Citizens Advisory Committee or Community Advisory Committee. I think there are generations of folks who served on this to advise us through the years. I see some of you out there. And really just want to appreciate everybody's continued support. Please keep asking for projects like this. Please keep demanding safety and bus transit reliability and rapid transit projects. It's our pleasure to support the city, and we hope to keep it going to benefit generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Chang. We have 3 members of the SFMTA board here, Sharon Lai, Steve Heminger, and our final speaker, MTA board member Amanda Eakin.
Hey, good afternoon, San Francisco. On behalf of the entire SFMTA Board of Directors, I'm so excited to commemorate the completion of the Geary Rapid Project, which is an accomplishment that's so important to achieving some of our key goals, improving transit service, and also improving traffic safety, as Mayor Breed mentioned. It was noted my colleagues, Director Lai and Director Heminger, are here with us today, and I want to thank them for their service. The Geary bus lines are not just among the busiest in San Francisco, they are among the busiest in the entire country, with 56,000 daily riders pre-pandemic. And there's been a comprehensive suite of tools installed by this project to improve transit speed and reliability. Of course, the red transit lanes, bus stop optimization, upgraded signal priority, and 12 new bus bulbs. As Jeff mentioned, the quick builds alone improved transit service by 20%. And I will tell you, I experienced that this morning coming here on the 38R. That bus was flying down the street, and I got here 13 minutes faster than Google Maps predicted I would get here. Thank you to the Geary Rapid Project. It's so nice to be able to be early thanks to transit. That's just with the quick build improvements. So I cannot wait for the evaluation of this project to be done once all of the measurements have done, and see how much more even than 20% we are actually getting to. Along with the full SFMTA board, I am also deeply personally committed to San Francisco's Vision Zero goal, and that is to eliminate serious injuries and traffic fatalities by 2024. Geary Boulevard shows up prominently in what we call the high injury network. That's the 13% of streets in our city where 75% of the injuries and fatalities occur, because Geary has a disproportionate share of severe and fatal traffic collisions. You're actually 8 times more likely to be hit by a car when crossing Geary than the average city street. And that is why pedestrian safety was such an important element of this project. So just a couple numbers: 34 new pedestrian bulb outs, 7 new or upgraded crosswalks, 9 intersections with median improvements, as well as new pedestrian countdown signals, longer crosswalk timing, and also a reduction in the number of, to Jeff's point, the number of total travel lanes from 4 to 2 general purpose lanes in each direction, and of course 1 bus lane in each direction. So that's a lot of impressive numbers. And I also wanted to share a story today about one Geary Corridor resident whose life has already been improved by this project. Lou Grosso is with us here today. Maybe, Lou, you can stand up or wave. Thank you so much for being here. Lou is a member of the Geary Community Advisory Committee that advises the project team and provides input on project issues from the community. Lou is blind and lives just across the street from where we are gathered now in St. Francis Square. And he is enthusiastic about the new crosswalk installed just down the stairs from the Peace Plaza at Buchanan Street that connects St. Francis Square to Japantown. Thank you. Lou recently told us that he completed his orientation and mobility training for the newly upgraded Geary intersections around St. Francis Square. Today, he can now successfully walk from his home to his husband's work at Calvary Presbyterian Church on Fillmore and Jackson Streets. Lou told us this has been his goal ever since he moved to St. Francis Square in 2017. His mobility instructor had previously told him that he was forbidden from crossing Geary because it was just too unsafe, and the Webster Bridge was not an option for him. But because of all the safety improvements and with excellent training from Lighthouse for the Blind, Lou can now cross Geary on his own and make it all the way to the Calvary Church. Thank you so much, Lou, for your service on the committee, and thank you for letting us share your story today. We are so happy that your neighborhood is now more accessible to you. And thank you for working so closely with the project staff to make sure all of our pedestrian signals are loud enough so that they can be heard. Thank you to everyone who helped to make this project a reality. And thank you so much, all of you, for coming out today, despite the rain, to celebrate this milestone with us. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us. Now, it would not be a project kickoff without a ribbon and a giant pair of scissors. So I would like to invite back up the mayor, our key project sponsors, Sandy Mori, who will be holding the scissors for us. And I would also like to invite all of you to please stick around after the ribbon cutting ceremony for some delightful performances by local groups from the Fillmore, Japantown, and St. Francis Square. Thank you all so much for coming out.
Down in front.
Oh, you joining us? Oh, well, let's do the scissors so they can get under here. Okay. So now we're going to have to move it up a little bit, please. Oh, it is a picture day. Okay, so what we're going to do, because we got to do the scissors, we're going to scoot over just a little bit. Come this way. You come over here a little bit. There we go. And then you stay this way. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Now be very, very careful. And then put your hand underneath there. You're gonna help, right? And then you put your hand underneath here. We're gonna do this together. Now Sandy, put your hand. Okay, are we ready?